Hi guys, my name is Madison Shamoun and you're going to be getting ready with me today. Okay, let's get started. So first things first, I already put product and styled my hair and I'm going to go get off camera and diffuse because otherwise we would be here for days you guys. And on my way out to diffuse, I'm also going to put on some facial products, some primers and moisturizers so you guys know what I use. And then when I come back, we'll do makeup. So first things first, after I shampoo and condition my hair, I split it into two parts, right down the middle. And I use my favorite products ever from Diva Curl, Believe In and Ultra Defining Gel. And what I do first is while my hair is wet, because these are water soluble gels, they work best when your hair is wet, so I do it in the shower. I take the Diva Curl Believe In, rub it between my hands, and then I use my hands as like a comb, and I comb through my hair with the product on both sides. After I do that, I grab a quarter's worth of the Ultra Defining Gel, put that in my hands, and then I go on either side of my hair and slide down with prayer hands. So that's that, and then typically I diffuse for anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. It can take a long time, or if it's the summertime like right now, it'll only take 15 minutes. So next, I'm gonna put some product on my face to prep my skin for the makeup, and then I'll diffuse real quick. So, I have pretty oily skin. Sometimes it can be combination skin if it's winter and things are dry. But for the most part, I have oily skin. So I can't really use those deep moisturizing creamers for moisturizers and primers because it'll just slide off my face when I go to put foundation or concealer on. So first things first, I like to moisturize in the morning with New. Hope you guys can see this. It is my favorite moisturizer. I found out about it when I was studying abroad in France, my junior year. All the girls were using New. And I just hopped on the bandwagon train and I love it. I've been using it ever since. And I think you can only order it online here on like Amazon or from France directly. But I love it because it's oil-based and it has a bunch of botanicals and essential oils in it, so it just smells and feels amazing. After that, I'm gonna put on my favorite makeup sunscreen ever. It's My Soul Stick. Can you see that? It's my favorite. It smells so good. I think that's why I mostly use it. I don't know how well it honestly protects your skin, but boy, does she smell good. That's great. I get that one from Sephora, I think. And then last but not least, Laura Mercier's Foundation Primer and Hydrating. Absolutely. Just a tiny amount like this. And it's also gonna go all over my eyes and my neck. Anywhere that I'm gonna be putting makeup on, this primer goes there. But like I said, I just like to slap my product into my face a little bit because I've heard that it helps your skin absorb it twice as much. And when you're using nice expensive products, might as well get it in there. It also helps blood circulation too. So now I am ready to go diffuse. And what's great about letting all these products sit on my face while I diffuse, at least for me specifically, it has time to really soak into my skin before I come back and just throw a bunch of makeup on there. Because like I said earlier, I have oily skin, so if I were to just put foundation on and concealer right now, it would leave streaks, weird marks. So I will be back, I'll see you guys in a bit, and when I return, I will have fully dry hair. All right, you guys, I'm back. My hair is almost fully dry. I mostly like to diffuse it 80 to 90%, and then I'll let the weather and the air do that last 10 to 20% because why not, group effort. A couple things. I put some lip balm on, some Glossier Mango Lip Balm Butter because it smells good and it feels good. Anything that smells good can go on my face. And before we get started on makeup, I just wanted to say I kind of forgot and neglected to mention before that my skincare routine before I put on makeup is and feels very minimal, but that's because I don't really like to feel heavy on my face or weighed down by extra products that don't need to be there, so I kind of just do the bare minimum under my makeup. However, my nighttime skin routine is extensive, like 25 plus steps. So let's get started on makeup. I'm gonna clip my hair just so it's out of my way. First things first, brows. Brows, brows, brows. You can kind of see and tell, but I have fairly thick brows, so I typically don't do that much to them. I'll just fill in these little gaps underneath and on top and just fluff them up. So I like to use Glossier's Boy Brow, and this is in the color brown, just brown. So first and foremost, I just shape the underneath and create that clean line. And then I'll come over here and create that top of my arch and fill in those little gaps. So brush up, fill in, and create that line. I'm running out, as you guys can tell. This is one of my favorite products. I'm definitely running low on, oh my goodness. I will use a brow brush and like a pomade, something like this, and I'll fill them in. But since I'm just getting ready today for a normal quarantine day, I'm not gonna mess up it. So after I do that, I usually take a little towel or some cloth or something, and what I basically do is wrap it around my finger nice and tight, and I just go on the bottom and on the top to clean it up. And that's that on that. Those are my brows. Oh, this is my favorite product, y'all. I love anything Bobbi Brown, but I just discovered this Bobbi Brown corrector. It looks like this. It comes in a really thin, tiny, circular case. And basically, they have like 5 or 6 colors. And depending on what under eye problems you have, if you have green or purple under your eye, if you have huge bags, if your eyes get puffy, you find the corrector that's right for you. And it just erases all of those problems. It's like a magic eraser. And I put it on underneath my concealer. So you put this on first, then the concealer. So I'm gonna take my beauty blender that's fairly moist. I'm just gonna come in underneath and erase all of those problems. If you're anything like me, you do not sleep or you do not sleep well. And this is my new best friend. I just discovered this like weeks ago. You have this like line right here. You can kind of see it. I have these 2 lines that just like refuse. All right, I'm happy with that. Next, I'm gonna take concealer and just go over that on top. And the concealer that I use is Glossier in G6 and G5. G5 in the summer because I get a bit more tan. G5 or G6 in the winter and spring. But I haven't really seen the light of day in a while. So you're just gonna go on top of that corrector, just a little bit, because we're gonna play around with some more concealer later. So one of my favorite palettes ever is Tartelette. You can tell because I've been using all these colors and it looks very old. I'm devastated for the day that comes where I run out. I will be so sad. And I like to use Free Spirit and Supermom. Not a mom, but I love that color. And I basically just put it right under my eyebrow. And that's kind of like the highlight or the lighter color that goes on underneath. And then I'll blend it. I know a lot of people like to tap their brushes to get that excess off, but I'm weird and I like germs everywhere. So we blow. All right, next. I'm gonna use my finger and I'm gonna use Wanderer. This like almost skin color taupey brown, just on my lid. And we're gonna say goodbye to Tartelette for now. Next, I'm going to bring in Texture Velvet and MAC. It's a really pretty like orangey sunset with a little bit of like pink sparkles in there. I'm gonna use a blendy brush from Sephora. I'll tap it too. And we're gonna start by just putting a little bit. And I think, I could be wrong, I just take a long time in general, but the blending of the eyeshadow on my lids feels like it truly takes the longest. And what I love about this color is it's like my go-to summer color. My summer makeup, I just like to look like I have really dewy, clean skin, a little bit of sun-kissed cheeks and forehead, and then just a nice nudish, reddish lip. Great. So I'm gonna keep your eyeshadow lying around, because after we do my face, I like to go under and do underneath my eye and smoke it out a bit. But the next thing we're going to do is liner. Super scary. But we're actually gonna use the Tartelette eyeshadow palette again, because I like my eyeliners to look really natural, just to kind of lift my eye at the end and go in the direction of my eyelash. So I don't use a pencil or even a liquid. What I like to do is take a brush like this, a really tiny, flat, thin brush, and just come at the end and just create that little line. And then I connect the two, and I like to create that line down there. Ooh, eyelash. So again, just gonna go over this over here. If you want to, the great thing about eyeshadow eyeliners is that you can build and build and build and build on them. So if I don't like how light this is because I'm using a brown, I can put black on top, and then that'll make it darker. My Bioderma, the Sensitive, the blue bottle, extra hydrating, and I take a flat brush like this one's my MAC brush, and I just put a little bit of the makeup remover on that brush, and then I'll come in and I'll just clean up this line on both sides, because they definitely need it. All right, and we'll do mascara and do the smoky underneath later at the end. So next what we're gonna do is my face. I'm gonna do my face. And I like to mix two different foundations, if you will. I like to mix the Glossier face tint. This is what I put on when I'm just like going out to the grocery store or like to the beach or something. It's very natural. And I'm gonna put a dollop on the back of my hand like that. And then I'm gonna put Bobbi Brown's Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation in Warm Honey. Put a dollop on there. And I blend the two together, and then using my beauty blender, I apply this foundation. And the reason I like to blend the two is it's like another layer of primer, it feels like, with the skin tint. So I feel like there's an additional layer of protection between foundations and powders and then my actual skin itself. And I also find that I can use a little bit less foundation when I mix it with this tint. That's about half my face. I do come down a little bit on my neck. I mostly reserve my neck for powders because I feel like liquid foundations and concealers and all that clog pores way more than powder. So I'll come down here to cover it. I don't think I've said this yet, but this is my pretty much go-to look for the summer. You'll see as it progresses when we get into bronzer and blush and all that. All right, next is concealer again. Because I don't sleep at all, I do 2 rounds of concealer. All right, so I like to take my second concealer, round 2, the Tarte really thick stuff. It is so great. This stuff lasts all day, you guys, all day. So I just take a little bit on my hand, dab my beauty blender in it, and then I go in and I really only give attention to the start of my under eye right here. And then I just take it out underneath my eyeliner, and that just dramatizes it a little bit. And I take the back of my beauty blender, blend it out. And now we're just gonna go in and take care of all my little friends, as in zits and pimples and scars and sunspots and all that good stuff. So usually one. Okay. Wow, you guys, we're almost there. We are almost there. Okay, great. So now we're gonna go in and do powders. All of my powders are Laura Mercier. I love her, especially the translucent powder, which is what I'm using right now. So I don't like to typically bake my whole face. I'm not that type of girl, but I do like to do my under eye just because there's so much product there and I want to set it. So I just use a beauty blender and I use the tip to go in Usually takes me like 2 times just because I use my beauty blenders for wet and dry products. I'm just gonna leave that there. Then I'm gonna take a super fluffy brush, take a little bit of that translucent powder, swirl it all on there, get it in there. Tap, tap, tap. And because I don't bake the bottom of my face, I just do that instead. I get around my nose. I basically powder all the parts of my face that get super shiny, because again, I have oily skin. So I'll put a bunch of translucent powder on and people are always like, what are you doing? All right, and before we go and wipe this off and then smoke the under part of my eye, we're gonna take Laura Mercier's 4W110 Smooth Finish powder. I love this stuff. I love this stuff. And just take a nice fluffy brush and basically go underneath your bake with it. This color blush, I go on my nose, I go down here, everywhere with this stuff. And this is what I primarily use to powder my neck so that it's the same color as my face. This color powder, and I just noticed that this powder in general, everyone can find their color in. Like this powder matches my skin better than my foundations do. So I just kind of put it on top to bring everything together. Now we're going to wipe this off. Before I knew about blending, I would kind of just leave stuff like that on my face, and then you would see like obvious streaks of bronzer, obvious streaks of concealer, and it wasn't cute. All right, we're back using texture from MAC, that beautiful orangey sunset color. We're just gonna come in underneath. And I even use this brush to help that liner get up a little bit higher than it needs to be. Now let's use a little bit of bronzer, also Laura Mercier Soleil 2. This color is gorgeous. It smells so good. Another fluffy brush, not too much. I learned the hard way that you just do a little bit of bronzer at a time and you can build on it. It's common sense, you know, like if you use too much, you can't really go back without messing up most of your makeup. So why not just do a little bit at a time and build on it? I'm gonna come under here. I'm sure you guys know about the 3, making a 3 on your face. And I really get into my hairline at the top too. I get very, very tan at the top of my forehead. I have a really, really wide forehead, as you can see, but I always get hit by the sun right there. I like to make that part of my face. And then we're gonna use mascara, now we're gonna do some blush and some lip, and we are done. I don't know how well these work. I really don't, but I've been told to use them, so I use them. But Lash Slick Glossier Mascara is my favorite. It really curls and elongates your lashes, but in the way that looks natural, which I love. And I'm just gonna go in, and first, I kind of coat my lashes with 1 layer. Then I go in and I use the brush to separate them. And that's the first coat. I really like my lashes. I know that people love to use fake lashes, those magnetic lashes, or they just go get them put on. But I like mine. I wish I had more of them, so there weren't as many spaces in between each one. I'm back in for round 2. And what I do is I take the mascara stick and I basically look up and then curl down on them. All right, you guys, let's do blush and then lips, and then we're done. Again, Glossier in Beam Cloud Paint is one of my favorite blushes of all time. I wish it came as an eyeshadow too, and like a lip, because I'd love to just match them and blend them out with other products. But I love it. Tiny little bit in my hand, beauty blender, and we go in. And I start by just putting a little bit on the apples of my cheeks. And then I just blend out. Oh, so pretty. And then I take a little bit and I put it on my nose and on my chin. I kind of connect my blush to my nose a little bit so it looks like a natural progression of being sun-kissed. I do the top of my forehead as well. Because like I said earlier, that's where I get the most sun. So I kind of want it to look like I do get sun there. Why not exaggerate that if it already does that? All right, lips, and then we're done. So, lips. My favorite lip liner, my go-to, I wear this every day, is shockingly Kylie Jenner's coconut lip liner. You can tell how much I like it because it's almost gone. Almost entirely gone, you guys. So I'm just gonna sharpen that real quick because it was not ready to go. Or gloss, it's my favorite. It looks like this. It's like a nudie brown with pink undertones that looks good on everybody. Everybody who tries this loves it. But you can probably tell, I have pretty big lips. So I don't do too much. I never overline my bottom lip. But what I do like to do is kind of connect my Cupid's bow up here together because my bottom lip has a very like oval circular shape. It like immediately droops. So I kind of like my top lip to almost match that as well. I rub my lips together. And today, since we're doing like this sun-kissed beachy kind of thing, I'm gonna use some Glossier Chapin lip gloss, and I'm gonna use their Cherry Bomb. Oof, another favorite of mine. Because it is supposed to be red, but it honestly kind of comes out pinky. So I like to put this on my lips because it blends really well with that coconut lip liner. And it just makes me look like my normal lips, but with a little bit of tint, which I love. That natural looking stuff. And then next, the Glossier Red Gloss. A fave. This has to be on everybody's makeup list. A good friend of mine actually introduced me to this, and I haven't been able to stop using it since. I wear this when it's windy and my hair sticks to it. I wear this in the summer. Fall, whenever. Okay, this is it. This is the final look. We did the makeup, the skincare. You saw a little bit of my hair. Now it's like pretty much fully dry. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned something, anything. And if you want to know or see what's going on in my personal and professional life, feel free to follow me on Instagram. It's just my name, Madison Shamoun. Last name is spelled S-H-A-M-O-U-N. So Madison Shamoun on Instagram. And yeah, don't forget to take care of yourself. Peace and love to you all. And be sure to subscribe and follow Jamo. Be well, y'all.